Look, if you are searching for the best Korean sunscreen in 2026, I need you to stop right now. I would not start with one ultimate winner. I would start with the job. Because let's be completely real for a second, the sunscreen you absolutely love at 8 in the morning might be the exact same sunscreen you despise at 2 in the afternoon. Morning application and midday reapplication are two entirely different sports. So today I am comparing the major categories. We are looking at the daily gel and cream lane, the viral hydrating SPF lane, and the reapplication stick lane. We're going to talk about heavy hitters, and we're looking at candidates like Kiero Prime Sun Gel and Airy Sun Stick to decide what I would actually recommend. Because there is no universal holy grail, but there is a right tool for the job. Before we even name drop products, we need to talk about criteria. Because a sunscreen can be massively popular on TikTok and still be completely wrong for your specific routine. For the morning, my criteria are strict. I care about the spread. I care about the dry down time. I care heavily about makeup compatibility because if it pills under my foundation, it's going in the trash. And I care whether the layer feels even on the skin. But for reapplication, the criteria completely flip. I care about portability. I care about drag. Like, is this stick gonna pull my concealer down to my jawline? I care about the midday shine factor, any weird residue, and honestly, whether I would realistically pull it out of my bag and use it in public, outside the comfort of my bathroom. If the routine is annoying, you won't do it. Let's do a really quick reality check on SPF labels. You look at a bottle, you see SPF 50+, you see PA+++, and you think you're invincible. But let's break that down. SPF mostly tells you about UVB protection, the rays that burn you. PA tells you about the UVA protection grading, the rays that age you. But here is the catch. The label alone does not tell you how well you will apply it. It doesn't tell you how much you will realistically use or whether you will actually reapply it when you're sweating 3 hours later. That behavioral part, that human error, that is where sunscreen routines usually fall apart. You can buy the most protective formula in the world, but if the texture makes you under-apply, you are not getting the protection on the label. All right, let's talk about the daily gel lane. This is where I would place something like the Kiero Prime Sun Gel alongside watery gel competitors like the Instri Hyaluronic Acid Watery Sun Gel. This lane is incredibly appealing, especially if you hate the feeling of traditional sunscreen. It's light, it's fast, and it's way less creamy than a standard lotion. A gel can be absolutely beautiful under makeup if it spreads evenly and does not leave a sticky, tacky layer behind. It feels like a drink of water for your face. But there is a trap here. The risk is that some gel sunscreens can feel almost too slippery or sometimes too fragranced. And because they feel so invisible and absorb so fast, the psychological trap is that people end up under-applying. You need a solid amount to get that SPF 50, so if you are using a gel, you have to be disciplined about your portion control. Next up is the viral Korean sunscreen lane. You already know exactly what I'm talking about. These are the ones that win on pure elegance. Think of the Beauty of Joseon Relief Sun, that rice probiotic style cream, or the Round Lab Birch Juice Moisturizing Sunscreen, or the Skin 1004 Hylucica Water Fit Sun Serum. These are lightweight creams or serum-like textures that give you this gorgeous, soft, hydrated glass skin finish. They are usually the easiest products to recommend for a daily morning use because they double as a moisturizer for a lot of people. But here is my skepticism with this lane. They do not solve the reapplication problem. If you have a full face of makeup on, or if you're out running errands, are you really going to dispense a liquid cream into your hands, rub it together, and pat it over your blush? Unless you are willing to wash your hands and relayer very, very carefully, liquid creams are a morning-only solution. Which brings us to the sun stick lane. A stick is practical, but let me be clear, it is not magic. This is exactly where the Kiero Airy Sun Stick belongs in the comparison conversation. Matte and semi-matte sticks are not meant to be a replacement for your careful, measured morning liquid sunscreen. They exist as a lower friction reapplication option. A stick can be great to swipe over makeup or keep in your bag, but this lane has two major problems across the board: coverage and texture. If a stick is too dry and it drags across your skin, you will underapply because it feels uncomfortable. If a stick is too greasy and it gets shiny, you will avoid using it because you look like a glazed donut in the worst way. So the best sunstick isn't just the one with the highest SPF rating, it's the one you will actually swipe the recommended 4 to 5 times per zone without hating your life. Okay, time for a mid-video reality check. I want you to ask yourself, would you actually reapply? This is the honest part of the review. Most people do not fail at sunscreen because they chose the wrong viral product. They fail because the routine is fundamentally annoying. Trying to reapply a liquid over powder? Annoying. Trying to use a chalky stick that pulls your skin? Annoying. So I give massive extra points to formats that make reapplication less of a chore, even if they aren't the absolute most elegant, luxurious formula in the morning. Convenience is literally the biggest factor in sun protection. If it's easy, you'll do it. For my makeup wearers, listen up. The finish of your sunscreen matters so much more than whatever exotic ingredient story the brand is trying to sell you. A morning SPF that grips too much or has too many conflicting silicones with your primer can and will pill. There is nothing worse than rolling little white balls of product off your jawline when you're trying to blend your foundation. On the flip side, a stick that is too waxy can literally melt and move your base makeup around. And a dewy serum-like sunscreen might look incredibly healthy on dry skin, but if you have an oily T-zone, it's gonna break down your foundation by noon. You have to match the finish to your base routine. So let's break this down by skin type because context is everything. For dry skin, I would immediately start with the hydrating cream or serum lane. The Round Labs, the beauty of Josons, the Skin 1004s, your skin will drink that cushiony texture up and thank you for it. For oily skin, I would look for a fast dry down and zero greasy residue. This is where the daily gel lane, like the Kiero Prime Sun Gel or the Instry Watery Gel, really shines. For combination skin, I would use a lighter morning formula everywhere and honestly keep a stick only for those high exposure moments where you really need a top up on your cheeks and nose. And for outdoor commuting, reapplication matters more than a perfect first impression. Get a stick, keep it in your pocket, and use it. Before we get to the final verdicts, we need to talk about red flags in the SPF world. I would be incredibly careful with any sunscreen that makes very absolute sweeping claims. If a brand says universal no white cast for everyone, I am instantly skeptical. If they say perfect under all makeup or reapply without disturbing absolutely anything, be serious. Those claims depend entirely on your specific skin tone, the sheer amount of product you use, the type of base makeup you wear, and how heavy-handed you are. Always look for proof, look for texture shots, and don't blindly trust a marketing graphic. So, what is the actual verdict? My recommendation is completely split. For the morning, you need to choose the formula that spreads evenly and behaves under your specific routine. The Kiero Prime Sun Gel makes total sense in the daily gel lane if you like lighter, faster absorbing textures. But the viral cream and serum SPFs make more sense if your skin wants that extra moisture and cushion. For reapplication, the Kiero Airy Sun Stick or a similar semi-matte stick format makes sense if your biggest problem is friction and convenience. Just remember the coverage caveat. You have to swipe multiple times to get the protection you need. If you need the absolute most even, bulletproof coverage because you're at the beach, a liquid relayer is still going to be more reliable than any stick on the market. Let's hand out the final labels. I would not crown one sunscreen as the overall best. I would crown the best job. Morning comfort and midday reapplication are completely different jobs. For the Best Morning Feel Award, I give this to the Daily Gel or Serum SPF lane. They just feel the most modern. For the Best Practical Reapply Award, the Sun Stick lane takes this, purely for the reality of human behavior. For the Best Makeup Caution, watch out for waxier sticks. They will betray you and move your blush. For the Best Sensitive Routine Caution, remember that fragrance and chemical filter sensitivities are real, so nothing is universally safe for everyone. Always patch test. And as for Kiero's role in this, I'd place the Prime Sun Gel as a top contender for the morning gel lane and the Airy Sun Stick as a solid pick for the convenience and reapply lane. That is why they can be part of this recommendation without this entire video needing to be a single brand spotlight.
I want to know what your reality is. Comment down below with your skin type, whether or not you wear makeup on a daily basis, and most importantly, be honest. Whether you actually reapply your sunscreen. That tells me so much more than just asking which SPF is best. Subscribe if you want more no-nonsense beauty reviews, and I will see you in the next one.